0.2 of a second, a new channel is going to be skipped to, and it's thought by that rapid skipping, it'll produce white noise that spirits can manipulate to talk to us.
Not really hearing anything on this.
And since it's scanning so fast, it's very unlikely that it's radio interference. If we hear something that's 2 words in a row, I'm pretty confident that's something speaking to us.
I'm here for you. If you're here, maybe sing a little song for me on my voice box. Communicate with me in some way. I'm here.
Right before Shane says, "I'm here," our audio recorder picks up a distant scream.
I'm here. I'm here. It's an ink blot test for you.
No.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think it is.
You see what you want to see, you hear what you want to hear. I get it. It's fun for you.
No, I'm taking...
You love ghosts, you want to believe in them.
I'm taking the anomalies and putting them out there for judgment.
Send them out. Throw a parade for the anomalies.
That's what I just did. And you know what? You're allowed to have a different opinion. I personally think it's evidence, but you know.
That's great.
That's great.
Come on, boys. Ryan's not here right now. It's your time to kill me.
I wish I could approach it with the boyish joy that he does. I hate that he's having such a good time in there.
Moaning Myrtle? This looks like your kind of joint.
I really do.
Don't you hear how cocky I am? Wouldn't you like me to just shut the hell up?
Because I know when I go in there, my mind's gonna implode. Oh God.
Keep walking. That's all you can do is keep walking.
Shut up. Hello? Is there anybody in here that wants to talk to me? Oh my God, this is the fucking worst. I don't mean to scare you. Trust me, I am way more scared of you right now than you are of me. In fact, why don't you just not do anything? How did Shane do this laughing? What the fuck is wrong with this man? It doesn't help that every fucking wall in here is painted with "get out." All right, I'm gonna turn on my spirit box. Use this to communicate with me.
He's gonna hate this.
I fucking hate this. What was that? Oh, I got the chills. Who's here with me right now?
The devil.
Is there anybody here with me? What was that? You? My name's Ryan. Can you say Ryan back? Oh my God. No, it's just my mind. It sounded like Ryan. Oh God, there's pentagrams everywhere in here for some reason. Who's in here with me? Jeff? How many of you are in here? 4? Well, no, you said 3.
Ryan, you gotta walk down that long hallway with all the doors.
I'm walking down the hallway. I was at the end right now.
The one when you walk in immediately to your left.
All right. Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's what you have to walk down. Hurry up, you've got 2 minutes.
Oh, this is horrible. This is so horrible. Who's here with me? Bree? Oh God, it's an old wheelchair. Bree, why are you here? Bree?
All right, Ryan, we're coming up on 7 minutes here.
Fuck yeah, fuck out of here. See you later, peace.
How'd it go? You did it. What did? You seem rattled right now.
Yeah, I'm a little rattled because I just spent an entire 7 minutes up there alone as a little ghost antenna, just talking to ghosts, and I didn't enjoy it, and I want to leave now, so let's leave.
Little ghost antenna. The Ryan Bergara story.
Shut up.
Well, it's been real.
Penhurst State School and Hospital.
You got Saul. I don't know.
Yeah.
We gotta figure that out.
We'll figure that out. Do you think the place is haunted?
No.
Why don't you ask me? What do you think my
Ryan,
answer's gonna be?
Do you think the place is haunted?
You know what? Not sure,
Oh.
but probably.
Okay. Stop.
Yes.
Based on our experiences tonight, I unfortunately believe that many spirits remain trapped within the walls of this tragic facility. Hopefully I'm wrong. But regardless, whether or not Penhurst State School and Hospital is definitively haunted will remain unsolved.
This week on BuzzFeed Unsolved, we investigate the Roswell incident, either the biggest UFO cover-up of all time, or just the biggest misunderstanding of all time. Either way, 70 years later, we're still debating about it. This is the holy grail of alien stories, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a buzzword. You hear it all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know all the gritty details. Desert, government, aliens, etc.
All right, let's get into it.
Spin a yarn, Tommy Bahama.
The year is 1947, a year that saw an unusually large wave of reported UFO sightings. You would immediately assume its original shape in a second or two, just like that. End quote. Accurate. And you can even see these local Native Americans within the first month, and the colonists reportedly aglets are small copper tubes used before the 17th century to secure wool fibers. Therefore, these findings would seem to point to the presence of colonists of roughly the same time period and class as the people of Roanoke. However, most of the European finds on Hatteras Island were among other objects that date back to the 17th century, about 100 years after the disappearance of the Roanoke colony. Last but not least, this theory could explain the carving Croatoan that the settlers left behind, perhaps as a clue to their whereabouts.
So John White didn't look for them on this new island.
He tried to, but then the storm.
He failed. So they could have chilled there for a while, and then eventually were like, well, hey, I heard other people are moving in over, a couple states over near Philly. We're gonna go check that out. Get
Possibly.
some cheese steaks.
Which brings us to our third theory, that the lost colonists didn't move to Croatoan, but instead moved inland. If you'll recall, John White, the governor of Roanoke, was also an artist. He was also part of the original failed Roanoke expedition, and between 1585 and 1593, he created a detailed watercolor map titled, quote, La Virginie Parse, end quote, that shows the North Carolina coast and includes both Roanoke and Croatoan Island, which are colored red. The cartography of the map is thought to be extremely accurate, described by museum experts as, quote, the most careful, detailed piece of cartography for any part of North America to be made in the 16th century, end quote. And when compared to modern satellite imagery of the same area, the only differences in the map are the naturally changing shapes of the coastline.
Yeah, this guy wasn't looking at Google Earth. He was like, I don't know how you even do that. I guess I'm not.
How do you do it?
I don't know anything about cartography. I'm
You
not a
don't.
cartographer.
You absolutely
Well, neither
do
do
not.
you.
Well,
so,
yeah.
I think if you told me to make a map of Hollywood right now, I would have a hard time doing it.
Sometimes, if I'm figuring out how I want to rearrange furniture, I'll make a little map of my room. And then you're like, oh, I didn't even include the closet. I forgot there's a closet here. I can't even map my apartment.
Wait,
You've never done that?
You make maps of your room?
I think if we had a map off, I would win.
I'd be devastated.
At a glance, this seemed like nothing more than a map, but upon closer inspection, this map was revealed to perhaps hide secrets that seemed straight out of the film National Treasure.
I was gonna say.
I knew you would like a Nick Cage reference. It's one of Nick Cage's best performances.
It stinks.
The Declaration of Independence.
In 2012, a nonprofit organization called the First Colony Foundation requested that the British Museum re-examine two small patches on the map. Using patches to cover mistakes or damage was a common technique in 16th century map making, because maps took so much time and work to create that starting over wasn't a viable option. Using X-ray spectroscopy, infrared light, and other imaging techniques, the British Museum was able to determine that the smaller patch was covering a four-pointed star, outlined in blue and filled in with red. According to the British Museum's report, quote, while the detailed interpretation of this symbol is beyond the scope of the study and is best left to experts in the field, it seems certain to represent a fort or fortification. End quote. In other words, the star may show the location of a fort inland from Roanoke Island, on the western side of Albemarle Sound, where the colonists could have resettled.
He covered it up, and they found it by using light. And now, here, I'll demonstrate this. I actually prepared this for you. This is the map, right?
Yeah, I know how light works.
Yeah, that's the map.
Yeah, you put a light
Yeah,
underneath.
look how dope this is. Just a little map. Then
I
you
know
can see the
what
star.
light looks
It's
like
so
when you
cool.
shine it through a piece of paper.
But like, I'm just saying, it's freaking
You
awesome.
didn't prepare enough to put a star on there?
There's a,
Oh, I actually couldn't see it. There you go. Now
you can see the star. Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's
right?
good. Good work.
Further adding to the mystery, when examined closely, it was discovered that there are actually light markings of this possible fort on top of the patch as well. The British Museum's report posits the markings faded over time, but it also proposes, quote, one other possible, if rather romantic explanation is that these lines could reflect the use of an invisible ink, an ink that would only be revealed when treated in some way, usually by applying heat, end quote. As demonstrated in the film National Treasure, these invisible markings could be accomplished by using milk or lemon juice.
Great. I'm on board.
I will say this.
What?
I tend to lean that it's invisible ink, mainly because why did they cover it up with a patch only to write on top of it again the same exact thing?
Right.
Why-
Like he was like, I'll put this here. Oh shit. Maybe I don't want people to know about this. Patch it up. Maybe I want some people to know about this. Squeeze a lemon.
Then he gets
milk
to,
a cow.
and then he gets to Nick Cajun.
Yeah.
If this fort was indeed intended to be hidden, why the secrecy? Some speculate White could have wanted to hide the colony's location from the English court, which may have contained spies. Whatever the marks indicate, they believe this evidence supports the idea that the settlers could have left Roanoke Island for this inland location. Interestingly, John White himself reportedly made an oblique reference to a location 50 miles inland from Roanoke Island in his account of what happened when he returned. Excavations on this site have turned up evidence of Europeans, including Surrey Hampshire borderware, a type of ceramics that was discontinued soon after Jamestown in 1624, and aglets, the aforementioned copper tube used before the early 17th century to secure wool fibers. This is the best indication of tying the location to Roanoke colonists, though these items cannot, without a doubt, be dated to the same exact time frame. Even if it's eventually confirmed that the colonists moved inland or to Croatoan Island, many possible unanswerable questions remain, such as why did they leave Roanoke Island, and what happened to them afterward, since no definitive existence of any of the 115 lost colonists was documented after August 25th, 1587. These questions have led some to point to supernatural causes.
No. What's wrong? I'm just bracing myself for whatever stupid.
Whatever truth comes out here?
No.
Is that what you're scared
That's
of?
Not what I'm expecting. I mean, once you get through the stuff that makes sense, you tend to land on aliens.
Which brings us to our fourth theory, that the colonists' disappearance was an instance of mass abduction by aliens. Some believe aliens would explain why the colonists' bodies were never discovered. And if Croatoan was in fact a clue to where they were going, then why did the colonists not offer any other substantial clues, such as a note or a map? Perhaps because they left the island in haste and not on their own volition. And while I'm going off the deep end, let me end this theory with one last point. What if the hidden symbol on the map is not in fact a fort, but rather a craft to signify a landing spot? Obviously, if this were true, it would absolutely be something that would be hidden.
Mass abduction. Maybe they all lined up in a row and just got in the tractor beam one at a time.
Yeah.
It's like when you go to the bank and it's one of those little chutes. It's just people lining up to get in that
just going
pneumatic
back to-
tube.
Just sucked up into the tube. Yeah.
Thunk, thunk.
That's a knowledge bomb right there.
No, that's not a knowledge bomb.
I just did a airstrike, I did a flyover, you're down there going, they walked into the ocean, and I dropped a bomb right on top of your big stupid head.
I don't think
and
that's
now
what happened. I think
you're startled by the truth. You're
I
dazed.
think you have
There's-
altitude sickness.
There's stars away around in your eyes.
There's no stars here. I think you're insane.
No. Don't you think that's pretty cool? That could in fact be a sign, like a crop circle?
Yeah, but again, if you're already stressed out that these people wrote on a tree something without any context. Why is he not going to write on the map, hey, we saw something weird here, instead of just putting a strange little symbol?
Because maybe they assimilated with the alien culture and it's much better there.
Nope.
They're on the prairies and fields of alien landscape, eating little alien berries, eating alien popcorn with half alien kids and half human.
You're hearing yourself saying these things right now. You're committing to this. This is what you want to be known as.
Shockingly, aliens is not the most outlandish theory.
Wait, wait, hang on. It didn't even occur. I didn't even hear the words that you were saying when you said brings us to our next theory, because I thought that was as dumb as it was going to get.
I told you, you have no idea where this is going.
And with that, we have our fifth theory, that the lost colony of Roanoke disappeared due to a zombie plague.
What do you
Let me hear me out. I got some stuff here.
read it?
A researcher named Andre Freeman from the Zombie Research Society believes zombies would explain the swift disappearance. Quote, a sudden undead plague sweeping through the unprepared colony would quickly become a horrific, violent feast, leaving not a single man, woman, or child alive. End quote. Roanoke was, after all, an island, so it would conceivably contain the infection to the confines of the shoreline. Before you tune out, Harvard archaeologist Lawrence Steger claims he actually discovered evidence that would suggest mass cannibalism on Roanoke. Granted, Roanoke was experiencing the most extreme drought in the area in 800 years. So some would say this evidence points to the fact that colonists turned to plain old cannibalism rather than The Walking Dead.
You think that's maybe more likely?
Maybe. What if this is the only case of zombies ever, and because it was on an island, it was contained, so therefore it would never happen again?
What if it's not? There's nothing.
There was that bath salts thing where someone thought that guy was a zombie.
He was alive.
Yeah,
he had a beating heart.
Yeah, they were popping him with bullets, and he was just like taking them.
Yeah, because he was on drugs,
He
Ryan.
was getting peppered. He was like, feed me more bullets. Yeah.
In the end, the mystery of Roanoke continues to baffle. Did they simply relocate, perhaps joining a neighboring tribe? Were they killed due to tensions with the locals? Or does the answer lie beyond our comprehension? The true fate of the legendary lost colony of Roanoke remains unsolved.
Where are we going, big guy?
London.
Looks like Shane's driving to the hotel. Wait, he's not. Here it is, the Viaduct Tavern, historic Viaduct Tavern.
Incredible floral display out here.
Yeah, impressive architecture. Kind of strange that there's something a little more sinister that maybe lurks beneath.
So poetic. Well, let's
Let's go.
grab a pint.
This week on BuzzFeed Unsolved, we investigate Viaduct Tavern in London, England, as part of our ongoing investigation into the question, are ghosts real? It would be foolish to come all the way down to London and not investigate a pub, so here we are at this pub with some very interesting history, I might say.
Let it flow.
What do you mean by that?
The history and the ale.
I thought you were talking about the ale.
I'm talking about the ale.
Yeah, that being said, why don't we pour ourselves a cold one?
Oh, okay. Off to the races.
In 1869, the Holborn Viaduct was erected in London, England, and was considered a feat of engineering at the time. Viaduct Tavern was opened later that same year, according to the tavern's own history. Nestled between many historic locations in a bustling area of London, Viaduct Tavern is plenty historic in its own right. The tavern originally opened as one of London's many gin palaces, and is the last surviving gin palace from the Victorian era you can find in London.
Gin Palace.
Yeah.
It's a gin, they just called it a gin palace.
They were very common back in the day. I'm about to get into it.
People loved gin for a long time.
You'll see why they love gin. There's a reason why.
Gin was popular among poor Londoners due to the fact that legislation in the 19th century caused gin to be cheaper than beer. Gin palaces were designed to be as opulent as could be, with rose and gold details, large windows, and gas lamps illuminating the palace.
A spirit in here? Maybe someone who wants to come out and play? I'll give you 3 minutes, and you can chat me up, as you like to say in this country. Ghosts, ghosts. Make it stink. Look, I'm gonna love you for ghosts. It's been a really rough season for Ryan Bergara and all his little followers. They can't find any ghosts.
Maybe you should shut your fat mouth for the last 30 seconds.
Okay.
Ghosts aren't real.
All right, time to move on to your old friend Spirit Box.
I love the spirit box. All right, ghouly ghouls. Let's do something fun. I got your little speaker cracking here, so I'm gonna ask you some questions. I'll ask you to respond. Do whatever you can. Hi, my name is Shane. Can you say my name? No. So that's a big no on that one. Can you say Ryan's name? Do you hate the spirit box as much as I do? Also nothing, hearing nothing, a lot of nothing.
You're free to come out, you big lummox. Get out of here. What'd you think? Want to turn that off?
This has been a huge waste of time. You got this?
I think. I'm just gonna keep telling myself these weren't real jail cells, but they may have been. Who knows?
Before you go in, scale of 1 to 10. 10 being I'm about to poop myself. 1 being I got it, bro. Where you at?
About like a 7 or 8.
Yeah, huh?
Well,
to
I haven't
pooping.
even got the door closed yet.
All right.
Oh my God. Oh,
We just have fun here, you know?
fuck. Hello? Oh God, I really don't like this.
Too bad.
Is there anybody in here with me? Is there anybody in here with me? All right. I'm gonna use something that you can maybe use the energy from to maybe talk to me, so it's gonna be loud at first. Here we go. Use this to talk to me. Is there anybody here right now? Is there anybody here with me right now? What was that? What? Is it, I can't understand you. Can you say that again? Downstairs. Why are you down here? Did you actually spend time down here, or is this not a prison? What? Is there...
But ghosts? My word. What a waste of time.
I'm coming out. I think I'm good.
Okay.
I'm so happy.
Oh, it's chilly. I got a little blast of cold air
It's
from
not
there.
fun in there.
No?
Shall we get out of here?
Yeah, here's your toys.
It's not a toy.
It's
a
your
tool.
magical toys.
It's a tool.
I didn't do that on purpose.
Should we leave?
Yeah.
Want to pick that up? Oh, you son of a bitch. Just stepped over it. Wait for me. Don't leave me down here.
Bye! There's no denying the Viaduct Tavern's front row seat to London's dark history. and even the history of the tavern itself would lend itself to a potential haunting. All things considered, there's no telling what spirits may walk through the tavern doors to mingle with the living. But in the end, whether or not Viaduct Tavern is definitively haunted will remain unsolved.
Well, there it is. Colchester Castle.
Is this your first castle?
This is my first castle.
Same. It's very imposing from the
This
outside.
is
I do love
truly
it.
an imposing castle. It really is a character in itself. There's a little tree growing on the top of the roof.
My goodness.
Spooky castle, that's every investigator's dream.
Yeah.
And now we're about to live it.
We're turning into Scooby-Doo.
Maybe.
We're just becoming, we need a van with flowers all over it. How does this, I've never entered. You don't knock, do you?
Knock, knock. The boys are here.
Oh.
Ruh-roh. Okay.
Good creek.
This week on BuzzFeed Unsolved, we investigate Colchester Castle in Colchester, England as part of our ongoing investigation into the question, are ghosts real? This castle has a rich history down even to the foundation, so there's no telling how many spirits remain trapped within the walls.
Thousands.
Maybe.
I don't think so.
If you look at the history, that may actually be more on the nose than you thought.
All right, well, we're gonna see 1,000 ghosts tonight. Any less and that's a failure.
Colchester is the oldest recorded town in Britain and Britain's first Roman capital. Colchester is also said to be full of haunted locations, but perhaps sitting atop them all is Colchester Castle. Even as early as the late 1930s, a man decided to spend the night locked in the castle to win a bet of £200 after entering at 8 p.m. Only 2 hours later, a person was spotted yelling and waving their arms on the roof of the castle by people on High Street. He was taken to Severall's Hospital after being sedated and reportedly passed away a few months later, having never regained sanity.
Maybe there was some other stuff going on with him. I feel like maybe he ate some moldy bread or something.
You and the moldy bread, that's your number one.
That's what happened to those people
Actually,
in
it's your
France.
here's Shane's starter kit. If you want to be a Shaniac, here's your
Eat some
starter
moldy
kit.
bread.
You got to be fond of wind. You got to love squeaky shoes. Moldy bread.
Sure.
Boom, boom, boom. You're a Shaniac now.
Between the years of 54 AD and 60 AD, the Roman Temple of Claudius was built on the spot that Colchester Castle now stands. Around 61 AD, the temple was sacked, and the town was burnt to the ground by legendary Briton rebel Queen Boudica. Colchester Castle has a vaulted Roman basement that can still be visited today. It is here that some have reported seeing the apparition of a Roman soldier.
All right, down to the vaults we go.
Oh, steep.
Yeah, watch your step. This is where they came down, the excavation site.
Really haven't done much with it.
Well, I mean, what do you want? It was a foundation. What do you want them to do?
Put a pool table down here.
Yeah, you want them to turn this into a billiards club?
Something.
Christmas tree?
A little pinball machine?
Yeah, a jukebox.
No. So,
Wait,
What?
did you hear that?
Did I hear what? So,
Wait,
What?
it's definitely something. I mean, I could.
We have different ideas of things that are definitely something.
Yeah, I think you think. I mean, I could see you saying this is like someone.
That sounds alarmingly similar to what.
Yeah, but none of us are doing that.
Okay.
I'm serious. They came from over there. Oh, don't. Not even a little bit of concern on his face.
Hello?
Hello? Anybody down here with us in this creepy little hole? Are we alone? You're an idiot.
There's nothing here.
Yeah, I told you.
I did get spider webs in my hair.
You did. Look at you. You look like Dr. Henry Jones.
Hey, another room that looks just like this one.
You look ridiculous with that cobweb in your hair.
It's still in there?
Let me get that out.
Thank you. Did you eat it?
It went in my mouth.
You just tasted history. That's probably been down here for hundreds of years.
Yeah, I know.
You could have told me that you had so much in your hair. I thought it was just a cobweb.
I can't see the
There was a
top
whole pile of rubble
I
in
can't
your
see
head.
the top of my head. I don't know.
No one could see the top of your head except God.
Okay.
Skipping forward a little over 1,000 years, we arrive at the start of construction on Colchester Castle, which lasted 50 years. When completed, it became the largest and first Norman-built great keep. The castle, which is considered one of the 7 man-made wonders in eastern England, predates even the Tower of London. In fact, Colchester Castle served as the blueprint for the Tower of London. The castle's purpose was twofold. First, to protect against Scandinavian attack by the sea, and second, to monitor and assert power over the town and surrounding land. Skipping ahead to the 1200s, the castle was used as a prison, sometimes for hundreds of prisoners of war, and the conditions were remarkably poor.
So these are the great stairs. Anybody of importance would use this entrance to go see the king, or maybe the king himself would even go up these.
These are the fancy stairs.
The fancy boy stairs.
Oh, we're fancy boys.
We are fancy boys. And look at that. That's a witchcraft symbol. That's to prevent witches, not to conjure them.
I know a lot of accomplished artists here back in the day.
It's on stone. Give them a break. Watch your step. Well, I guess for normal people, these are big steps. For you, these are...
Yeah, you could take your little steps on the inside.
Yeah,
Over
I'll do
here.
that. And you take your
And I'll take
giant
my-
steps on the outside.
My big steps over here.
Okay. I know a lot of important people were walking up this staircase, and I gotta tell you, 2 very unimportant people are now at the top of it. How do you guards feel about that?
Couple of schmoes up here.
Couple of American schmucks.
Yeah,
Yankee
that's right.
schmucks.
We're both dipshits.
I'm one of the stupidest people to ever walk the earth, and I made it up your staircase.
Yeah.
He's even dumber than me.
That's not. How dare you?
It's a bit. I didn't mean it.
Okay. Yes, I'm dumber than him.
I meant it.
You son of a bitch. This is classic castle door. Look at this thing.
Oh, I think that may go to the roof. No longer for access.
At this moment, our audio recorder picks up what sounds like a woman singing.
Yeah, I mean, this is classic castle door. Look at this thing.
Oh, I think that may go to the roof. No longer for access. It changes pitches.
Yeah, it does.
So it's not a creaky door.
What's the correlation there?
What's the correlation? We're in a castle and
it's
we're
gotta
hearing
be-
a woman singing. That's what the correlation is, and there's nobody in the castle that could be singing. So I think that's pretty strong. Is this not, and I know you normally harp on how EVPs are strange or like not very compelling, like they're words that you can't really make out. This is pretty crazy. Like when you consider it in the gamut of what I've offered before, I think this is
You know, sure.
clearly the weirdest one we've gotten.
It's a weird one.
It's a weird one.
Yeah, I mean, this is classic castle door. Look at this thing.
Oh, I think that may go to the roof. No longer for access.
Some video would be great. There's no correlation here. There's nothing. I know you're gonna do your thing.
Yeah. That's
I'm Jim on The Office, and I believe in ghosts.
okay. Well,
Moving to 1648, Colchester Castle became connected to the Second English Civil War between the Royalist Cavaliers and the Parliamentarian Roundheads.
Roundheads is a little. That's what heads are, though.
that's a good point. That's just like saying heads.
Yeah, or hole butts. Well, we call ourselves that because we've got a little hole between our 2 butt cheeks. Well, yeah, sir, everyone does. Well, then we'll call ourselves the Roundheads. All right, I don't think you get it.
The Roundheads would eventually prevail, executing the Royalist leaders Sir George Lisle and Sir Charles Lucas on the grounds of Colchester Castle. Today, an obelisk marks the spot of their execution, where it's said that grass will not grow.
Behold, we found the obelisk.
All hail the obelisk. So where's this grass?
Yeah,
It doesn't grow?
Is this it?
No, this is just dirt on top of
Is it?
pavement. I bet if you put grass seed on this, you'd be fine.
Nah.
No?
In 1656, the castle would welcome perhaps its most famous specter, a man named James Parnell. Parnell was a Quaker praying in Coggles Hall Church when an altercation broke out. He was accused with blasphemy and charged £40. After his refusal to pay, he was imprisoned in the castle dungeon. During his time in prison, his jailer would make him climb a rope to reach the small amount of food they offered him. He eventually had a bad fall from this routine, most likely due to a poor diet and bad treatment. Parnell would eventually die as a result on April 10th, 1656, and was buried on castle grounds in an unmarked grave. It's said that Parnell haunts the castle dungeon, close to the eastern wall.
All right, we're gonna use a tool here that you may be able to use to speak to us.
This is gonna seem very jarring to you.
All right. Is there anybody here with us right now? I'm not getting anything. It sounds like a nightmare.
It really does. James, is this how you saw your ghost life turning out?
Talking to two idiots.
He said no.
No. Was that you or is that something else? Would you like me to turn it off, Shane?
Yeah. What a moment. James probably feels vindicated, thanks to you and your screaming radio.
Moving forward, in 1835, the castle's use as a prison ceased, and in 1860, the castle became a museum. It is still a museum today.
They were on top of it. They need a museum for the museum. 100 years from now, they're gonna have museums about all the museums that we saw in our lifetime.
Yeah, they may even be like 100 years before now. Two royal jackasses sat in this spot and carelessly talked about history.
You think they're gonna have like wax figures of us?
Yeah, one of them will have a 8-foot round head.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And one of them will be this chair, but it'll be giant, and it'll say, if you sit in this chair, you'll feel the same, like you're the same size as Ryan Bergara, the littlest man of the 21st
Well, if it's a wax
century.
figure, they could just take this normal chair and put a little like doll here.
Yeah.
Anybody here with us? Anybody in this museum at all that wants to speak to us?
You feel strong?
I feel like a strong man. I never feel like a strong man.
I know. Jesus, man. You need to bring with one of these everywhere you go.
Yeah, if they throw something at me now, I am protected. You would think a place of such history, loaded with trigger objects, there'd be just this place would just be bursting at the seams with spirits.
You would think that, right?
Shut up. Speaking of trigger objects, those are legitimate helmets.
Well, let's...
I mean, come on. We've been given a
This
gift.
is about as authentic as it gets, because these are...
I'll wear this one. You wear the...
Okay.
Oh man, it is so heavy.
Is it really?
Yeah. We were about to die. Salute you. You look like you have the biggest head I've ever seen. You look like you have a cone head.
This is like a thimble on an apple.
Anybody here? We hear people see you. Want to see if it's true. I'm scanning like a madman right now. I'm trying to just...
What are you hoping to see?
A ghost? Nobody? Could you say something to me right here? Close? I'll hear it later.
He'll listen to it over and over again, every night before he goes to sleep.
All right, we're moving on.
This castle is also said to be home to a ghost cat, perhaps due to the fact that Romans would entomb dead cats in their walls as a sign of good luck. Another spirit that's said to haunt the castle is the ghost of a headless nun, in addition to reports of disembodied cries. There's an area in the castle that once functioned as a chapel. Perhaps we'll find her there.
Who chopped a nun's head off?
Yeah, that's a good question. Why would you chop a nun's head off?
There's no story behind it?
Well, I mean, like, a lot of people were anti-religion back in the day.
You just chop a nun's head off?
Yeah.
I don't agree with this.
Oh, you think that was too much? Do you think that's where they drew the line? After they were tarring and feathering people,
I thought
taking
they were
their limbs off?
I just thought they were chill with nuns. You gotta be a bad guy to chop a nun's head off.
Yeah. Is there anybody in here with us right now?
Or is that maybe the nun without a head? Well, she couldn't hear us.
Yeah.
So never mind. Is that Morse code?
Hello? What the fuck?
If you're a ghost, please tap on the window.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Do you not like us sitting in your church?
We know a lot of demons. Some of them like to follow us. We may have brought some with us.
Oh!
What? The fuck is? What is wrong with you?
Oh fuck!
Wait. What?
Wait a second. No.
Did you just see your reflection?
No, look.
What?
I'm gonna go see what it is. What the fuck is that? There's not a tree out here, that's for sure.
It's like a flag out there.
Whew, boy, that scared the shit out of me at first, though.
Sure did.
One excerpt of dark history I skipped over occurred in the late 1600s. During that time, Essex, the county where Colchester is located, was known as the, quote, witching county of Britain, end quote. Essex saw more witches executed during this time than any of the other UK counties. Matthew Hopkins, who dubbed himself the, quote, Witchfinder General, end quote, was responsible for rooting out suspected witches and interrogating them. Because Hopkins could not explicitly torture suspected witches, he would subject them to forced standing and sleep deprivation.
You know, it's just never a good sign when you give yourself a nickname.
But you know he was walking around town going like, yeah, you know me, the Witchfinder General.
Do you think he had one, like he made himself a fake honorary Witchfinder General badge and he's like wore it really, like proudly shines it every day?
And what a brave guy, by the way, making him stand.
Yeah, I could see him there just with this little weird smile on his face.
Poking him with a stick. Oh, you look like you're ready for a sit.
Yeah, that guy was a dick.
Colchester Castle was the site of many interrogations, and between 1645 and 1647, it was used to imprison over 200 accused women. Many suspected witches perished from jail fever while imprisoned at the castle, most before even going to trial. Today, those dungeons still remain, waiting for visitors. So, to finish this out, let's visit the dungeons individually to see if any will communicate with us.
This is the witch dungeon.
Very, very unnecessary.
That's what it's called.
I'm just saying they were probably weak.
Look, there he is right
feeble
there.
women. Who's that?
Matthew Hopkins.
The Witchfinder General. Good door. They really knew how to make spooky doors back then.
Yeah. So I figure we'll just lock ourselves in here one by one and try and see if we could talk to some people.
Okay.
I'm gonna use a spirit box. I'm guessing you're not gonna use that.
I'm done with the spirit box, Ryan. If there's anyone here, please reach out. I've given you a fairly high quality microphone to speak into.
At this moment, our camera catches a white orb moving away from Shane's body.
So you've resorted to orbs now.
No.
Yes,
No.
yes,
I
yes,
no.
yes. You've resorted to
okay,
orbs.
I'm not an orb guy. Here's the thing. If I'm gonna say this is a monumental piece of paranormal evidence, no, I'm not. But I'm gonna say that if orbs are indeed real, then this might be an orb because it looks a little different than dust or bugs, which I've seen a lot of. It's moving in a certain way that to me would suggest that maybe it's an orb. I'm not saying it definitively is an orb. This is just something that some people might find interesting. So you can wipe that stupid grin off your face and just enjoy it. Enjoy that juicy orb.
I'm gonna enjoy this orb.
You take a bite out of it, it's delicious.
Dust. I cannot tell you how much I hate the spirit box. And frankly, I get it. I wouldn't want to talk to Ryan either. Not when he's coming in here all wide-eyed, sweaty. But if you are real, I invite you to really, he's gonna be in here after me. He looks a little bit like me, but shave off 4 feet. And you'll see him come in just Keep your eyes near the ground, you'll see him.
Oh, God. Just even sitting here sucks. Imagine sleeping on this floor. It's awful.
At this moment, our camera catches an orb similar to the one seen in Shane's lockdown, moving towards my body.
Are you suggesting that it planted itself inside your person?
I'm not saying that it's trying to Voltron with my spirit.
This is why you're an orb guy, because now you got an orb in you.
That's what it is.
You got orbs in your brain.
I've consumed the orb, and now it's manning the controls in my brain.
Yeah, you're pushing the orb agenda.
It's moving me around like a little robot Ryan.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is just like the last one, and this one even more so, it's moving in a way that's a little different than dust and bugs that I've seen in the past.
It's not moving in a way that dust or bugs don't.
It's very prominent.
How is that not dust-like? Floating slowly in a downward trajectory.
Here we go. All right, it's about to get really loud in here. Is there anybody here with me right now? Is there anybody here with me right now that wants to say anything? Any accused witches? What is your name? Is there anybody in here? Can you tell me your name? Selena. My name's Ryan. Could you say Ryan back to me? I'm gonna turn off my box now. Oh God, it's so much worse in here when it's silent like this.
Okay, time's up.
I'm done with this. And if you're in here, Matthew, you could go fuck yourself. Goodbye, whoever was in there, if there was anybody. You'll be happy to know that the boys are gone.
Yeah, we're leaving you now. Hope you've had a good time with us.
Should we close the door? Keep them in?
No, let them run free. You'd be just as bad as the jailer then.
I don't know. Well, if it was Colchester Castle has been conquered by the Ghouligans.
The Ghouligans?
That's us.
Is this a new thing?
We're the Ghouligans.
I'm into that. We killed every last ghost at this museum. Yes, we did.
That's not what we do. That's not what the Ghouligans are about.
Yeah.
You know what? You're off the Ghouligans. You're off the team.
I am the team.
Towering over the historic town of Colchester, Colchester Castle remains, waiting for those to investigate the mysteries trapped within its walls. It's unclear how many spirits remain shackled in the dungeons of this powerful castle, but our experiences tonight can attest to the notion that there's quite a few. Still, whether or not Colchester Castle is definitively haunted will remain unsolved.
Well, I gotta say, it doesn't really get more London than this. We got the cobblestones, the dimly lit lights. And then right here, we have the catacombs, London tombs that sit under the bustling city of London.
Very,
And they aren't shying away from it. Look at that.
yeah, very theatrical.
It is a tourist attraction now that's a haunted maze, but it does sit atop a bed of history that's very genuine.
Let's have a peek at the tombs of London.
Yeah, just get on with it.
All right.
This week on BuzzFeed Unsolved, we investigate London tombs as part of our ongoing investigation into the question, are ghosts real? These tombs are not the most pleasant, as you can see, and they have some pretty gruesome history.
Production value here is through the roof.
Yeah, I mean, it is a haunted attraction.
This is sort of a funny location, huh?
It's a fun house built on top of a historical atrocity.
Okay, well, that's one way to do it, I guess.
That being said, let's get into it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Deep beneath the earth at the foot of London Bridge lie catacombs now referred to as the London Tombs. It's unclear how old these catacombs are, but the bridge itself dates back to ancient Roman times, and a brief look into London's tragic history may provide an answer. In the city's history, there have been several deadly epidemics. Mass graves known as plague pits were made across the city to accommodate the magnitude of the deaths. during which hundreds of bodies were quickly buried without coffins or ceremonies.
That's fair.
You know, yeah, I mean, you look back at that and you could say, oh, so inhumane, but if this person's flesh is decomposing off their face while they're still alive.
Yeah, that was a bad thing. You gotta get rid of those bodies as quick as you can.
Yeah, burn them. They're like White Walkers.
Throw them in a volcano, I don't care.
If I had flesh falling off my face, I would expect you to put a bullet in my head.
Happily.
Oh, don't you have to be that excited.
You wouldn't even have to ask, buddy.
If you didn't have flesh falling off your face at all, I'd still put a bullet in your head.
For what reason? Wait, you're saying you would shoot me
Moving
in the
on.
head? What the fuck?
One of the worst plagues in human history, referred to as the Black Death, occurred in Europe between 1347 and 1351 and killed an estimated 1.5 million Britons, a staggering number when you consider that was about a third of Britain's population at the time. In 1665, another outbreak of the bubonic plague devastated the city, now known as the Great Plague of London. The disease ultimately claimed as many as 100,000 lives, roughly a fifth of London's population.
What a chunk.
I mean, this was no joke.
What a chunk.
There's a reason why they called it the Great Plague.
Oh, this is great, man.
No,
You should have been there for that plague.
no, it wasn't like
Kicked ass. That thing was a hell of a plague.
Yeah, I T-voted.
I don't have any family left.
Between these two outbreaks, there's no telling how many plague pits are littered throughout the city. It's actually a popular urban myth that the famous London Underground subway system was designed in its meandering route so as to avoid the plague pits.
Yeah, probably not true.
Fun to imagine a train weaving around a bunch of dead people.
Just plowing through a pile of bones. Oh, don't worry, those are old bones.
Can't go this way, too much bones.
We got bones on the track again. I'm from London.
Records from John Stow's 1598 survey of London suggest that up to 150,000 bodies had been buried throughout London in plague pits. Evidence of these mass graves have been discovered throughout various points in history. As recently as 2013, a pit of 14 bodies was discovered in Farringdon's Charterhouse Square by engineers working on London's Crossrail project.
14.
That's
Kinda
still
chump change. I know that's 14 human lives, but
chump change.
I mean, when you're saying they buried 150,000, you'd at least expect it.
Not in
100 in a
one
pit.
giant pit. I mean, like a cross.
Yeah, I know, but 14 isn't.
Okay, put it this way. How often are we digging up somewhere for a new development in Los Angeles and go, oh, there's 14 bones here, or there's 14 piles of bones?
You know, we're a young country. I'm sure in 100 years there'll be a lot of us buried in holes that they'll find mass graves, you know.
That's not how it works, man.
Yeah, we're gonna go through some stuff. I feel it coming.
Jesus, you're an anarchist. What's going on?
This dark history takes us to the London tombs we sit in tonight. Prior to becoming a tourist attraction, the tombs had been sealed for decades. Excavations to build the attraction began as early as 2007 by brothers Lee and Danny Scriven of Kent. The project was said to cost over £2 million. During its excavation, they claimed, quote, hundreds of bodies were uncovered from the plague pit, end quote, where the tomb is located. According to BBC reports, after, quote, skeletons were found in a sealed vault in the basement, end quote, the builders refused to work on site alone. Shortly after, a second, quote, hall of bones, end quote, was found under concrete, which was said to have, quote, intensified the spooky activities, end quote.
A hall of bones. I like that.
I mean, this is serious, man. They found a shitload of bones in here.
Yeah, as you would.
Police pathologists reportedly dated the bones to the mid-17th century, which lead to their leading theory that the remains had indeed been plague victims. With this gruesome revelation, it's no wonder the construction workers experienced strange activity after disturbing the bodies of the site. Workers would report disappearing tools and strange noises. They witnessed a mysterious surge where over a dozen light bulbs had flown despite the new working electrical system. Some reported feeling as if someone was watching them. Perhaps most horrifyingly, those who have visited since have claimed to experience hideous visions, seen sinister faces suspended in midair, and felt violent poltergeist attacks. With that in mind, let's take a glimpse at the current status of the underground tombs we sit in tonight. As mentioned before, these tombs are now an attraction, a maze filled with scare actors and sets to scare thrill-seeking tourists. But tonight, this labyrinth of rooms sits vacant, ready for us to find what bits of history refuse to leave.
There's a little skeleton man in that train.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
So this is not very serious, any of this, right? This is what we're in for tonight? We're in for this?
I don't know. I have no idea.
They do have great respect for their dead here in England.
You can see it's kind of a nightmare. There's dolls everywhere. It kind of brings us back to Spider Island or Island of the Dolls.
Yeah, I feel home.
I feel like we're in that shed again.
Yeah.
And just like that, there's one marquee doll.
There's what? Oh. Oh!
This is the doll that a psychic apparently hates and won't enter here.
I guess that's par for the course, though. I'm actually pretty impressed with how awful a lot of these look. That one's in a cage. That baby's in a cage.
You gotta cage it up.
A bad baby.
Otherwise, it'll
Put it
run
in a
amok.
cage.
As you can see, I've placed all my equipment in her lap.
Yes.
So, let's do it. Cover your ears.
Oh, this, okay.
We're back.
Here we are. Can you say hello?
Oh, shit.
Heard it.
It actually sounded like hello. Fuck.
Yeah. Can you say either of our names? It's Ryan and Shane.
What? Who's in this room? Where are you right now?
Every time you hear a voice, you go, and then it's almost as if your brain a half a second later realizes, oh, then nothing of value was said.
Well, it sounded like it said here.
Didn't say here.
It said here, it sounded like. But once again, I agree with you that one. Can we at least agree that one word doesn't mean much?
No.
Okay, but if it's two words, we're coming back at you.
You there. Why don't you talk? Huh?
Yeah, what about
You
you?
got something to say?
Jesterman, you
Huh?
got something to say?
Any of you? You
How
there,
about
teddy
you?
bear. Your face got burned. Why don't you talk?
How
Come
about
on,
you,
baby.
headless bride? You got something to say? Oh, you, Farmer John, overall boy.
Do
Overall.
any of you have anything to say to us?
Come on. There's got to be one soul in here that
Well-
Jesus Christ, what in the name of Christ is
Oh,
that?
fucking, it's a demon, baby.
It's a freaking exorcist baby. Headless troll doll.
Speak to us. Say something crazy. Make Ryan lose his mind.
Let's hear it.
Come on.
Come on. On with it.
Come on. I would pay thousands of dollars for ghosts to be real, just so we could stop doing this 2 minutes earlier.
What did you think that said?
I think it said,
One room in the maze, referred to as the Brown Room, is said to play host to a shadowy figure that lurks in the dark corners of the room.
Apparently this is the beginning room of the maze.
this is sort of a class. Oh, hello, sir.
This is usually where they see a shadow man in here, in the
So-
back corners.
At this moment, our audio recorder picks up what sounds like a distant female scream.
In the
So-
back corners.
This used to be the tomb.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's.
This is this whole area right here.
Well, there's this. They excavated.
the tomb.
They excavated the whole site, and there was one room in particular where most of the bones were. This,
Here?
This was not it,
Okay.
but this whole site as a whole was like all part of an underground system.
It's weird that they turned it into a haunted mansion.
Let's reach out. Maybe that's a weasel.
That is a, yeah, it was a weasel, a badger, Wolverine. I don't know what the hell that is.
Sure. I'm not a zoologist. All right.
Okay. Oh, there's another weasel.
This guy loved weasels.
Don't call it the weasel. Don't call it the brown room.
This
Call
is
it
the weasel room.
This is
Yeah.
the weasel room.
Oh, good.
England's famed weasel room. Ooh, he's reaching for the bottle.
He's reaching for the
This guy
gin.
knows what I'm talking about. Hey?
He's about to close a big. What are you? You about to make out with the doll?
I can smell it on your breath. What do we got reports of in this room?
Standard fare, whispers, but mainly it's the.
Tak lagi kita saling lupa.
Prominent figure of a shadow person standing back over there.
I get tired of hearing about shadow people.
Is that so?
Yeah, it might as well be like a coat on a coat rack, you know?
At this moment, our audio recorder picks up a whispering voice.
Coat rack, you know?
I'm gonna give you the floor right now. If you want to say anything or you want to let us know that you're here, we could turn our light off.
Would you like us to turn our lights off? Then it's all shadow. Then everything is the shadow man.
How do you separate shadow
Then
from
we're shadow men.
Holy shit.
Now it's dark.
Well, now that it may be easier for you to focus on us, do you have anything to say? I'm gonna give you a minute.
We can't see you now, so apparently this is the best time for a ghost to do something when it can't be recorded. So here's your moment.
All right, we're about to leave. I'm gonna turn my light on. Over in the corner now.
Ooh, swing and a miss.
In addition to plagues, some of England's more violent history actually took place roughly above the tombs we're in tonight. As early as the 13th century, England sometimes punished traitors to the crown by hanging, drawing, and quartering. This process, among other horrible things, would include pulling somebody's limbs off, possibly with horses, and finishing with decapitation. The heads would be placed on the pikes of Traitor's Gate, a gate that sat on an older incarnation of London Bridge.
Yeah.
Chill.
That's fair, I think.
Totally chill.
I mean, treason's you know.
You're right. Treason's bad. Let's have a horse pull you limb from limb.
Again, we've sort of covered this, but they didn't have a lot to do back then.
So you're telling me that if you didn't have Netflix, you would resort to cutting people's heads off and putting them on funny little sticks?
Okay, now, if I'm reading a book and I'm like, well, this is the height of entertainment, and someone said, well, they're gonna pull someone apart into 4 little pieces outside, just slap 4 horses on the ass and watch them come apart. I'd probably just put my little bookmark in, close it, put my shoes on, and go outside to the town square. What's
fun.
wrong with that?
Lots of things. I could think of several things off the top
I
of
am
my
putting
head.
myself in historical context here. Nowadays, I probably wouldn't, but
I probably wouldn't. I'd think about it.
60% chance I'm saying no to that.
Some famous heads that once sat on these pikes included the head of Catholic conspirator Guy Fawkes, Oliver Cromwell, and Scottish freedom fighter and Braveheart himself, William Wallace. That being said, one detail I withheld regarding the remains found in the tombs we're exploring tonight was that some of the skulls found had holes in them, suggesting that some of the grotesque mounted heads that were once prominently displayed for the London public found a home down here in the London tombs. In fact, a medium that visited the tombs, aside from claiming to sense hundreds of tortured souls, also sensed the aforementioned Guy Fawkes.
All right. That's kind of
Or Guy
stupid.
Fawkes.
I don't know how it's pronounced.
F-A-W-K-E-S.
I thought it was Fox.
I think Fox. This Guy Fawkes.
This... Did you have that ready to go? No. Oh, damn. That was good.
Perhaps this violent history could explain the many dark figures that roam the hallways. Using laser technology, perhaps we'll be able to pick up movement.
So, in this hallway, they would give tours. The tour guide would be standing right here,
Yeah.
and they'd pan down this hallway. And they, at one point, a tour guide said they saw a man just standing at the back over here.
Okay.
So,
There are a lot of hanging things in that hallway. You don't think the shadows could maybe play with someone's imagination?
only one way to find out. So I want to put the laser grid over there so that we could see any movement. That way we'll be able to discern whether it's something moving or if it really is just shadows playing tricks on somebody.
Right. Wasn't very productive last time.
Well, it's not going to be productive every time. You got to remember, once again, capturing an apparition or something physically manipulating our world is like catching lightning in a bottle.
That's the holy grail.
Yeah, it's not going to happen every time.
Yeah. Or any time.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's initiate the grid.
I'm doing it.
This is a lot more anticlimactic than I had hoped.
Oh,
That's fun, huh?
I enjoy that. All right, to the man who stands at the back of this hallway, who are you? Why are you here? Can you move for us? Can you move something? Could you move one of those pieces of clothing that's hanging?
While changing our batteries on our equipment, we heard loud footsteps down the hall.
Record.
We quickly turned everything on, but only caught the tail end of the noises.
Record. Hello? I don't know if our mic was recording, but something was definitely moving down there.
Do you want me to go look? I heard that down there too.
Hello? Jesus, this is fucked up. What the? You did hear that though, right? That was pretty loud.
It was very loud.
It sounded like footsteps. On this wood, because this, look, it wasn't this, right?
No.
Hello? Hello? Oh, come on. Oh, fucking good lord.
Oh, hey. Hello, sir.
Oh, we're in the Jack the Ripper room. Hello?
They hate that.
I don't know what that was. All right, let's go back. That was, oh,
Sorry, man. You almost had it. Evidence of a ghost.
pretty much our sound recorder was off. All of our equipment was off because we were changing batteries. And of course, in that moment, we hear the footsteps.
Convenient, very convenient.
Yeah. I knew you were going to say that, and that's probably what most of the Shaniacs and skeptics are thinking out there. And frankly, I know that looks bad. It pisses me off. We catch just the beginning of it, but I'm wrestling with the EVP, so it kind of like overpowers the footsteps in the dark. Record.
Again, it could be 100,000 things before it's a ghost. It could be one of us rubbing against something. It could be, someone on the crew making a noise.
All right.
I'd love to hear a ghost say something ghostly. I'd love to see a ghost. I'd love to see any evidence of anything at all.
Maybe the most active room in the tombs is a room referred to as the Roman Room. In this room, staff have claimed to see the apparition of a little girl named Emily, dressed in clothing perhaps from either of the Great Plagues. But what's most horrifying is the possible explanation for her frequent appearances in this room. According to current staff, a majority of the bones discovered during construction were actually found 1 floor below this room.
Maybe we'll see her tonight.
I'm sure you will.
Well, what if you see her? Then what are you going to
If
say?
I see her, then I'll believe in ghosts forever.
You heard it here first. This is your chance, Emily, to make history, to end the show.
You know how boring this show would be if I was as insane as you?
I'm not insane, I just believe a different truth than you.
Okay. But it would just be 2 people being like, I'm scared, and the other one being, I'm even scareder.
That's every ghost show in existence.
Is it really?
Okay, so right now we have motion lights at the foot of that door, foot of this door, and where the spirit of the little girl is seen.
You all right, man?
I saw something over there.
What did you gotta collect
Anyways,
yourself?
if something passes those, we're gonna see it.
Who are we reaching out to here, like Romans?
No, that's just because it's Roman themed doesn't mean there's actually Romans in
Oh,
this.
this is not.
Just remember, the backdrop of this place.
This guy looks like such a fucking sad sack. Oh. Why are you bothering me?
All right, whoever's in here, can you say your name? You say why you're here? Is there anybody in here with us right now? Emily, are you here? Is that even your name, or did they just give you that name? There is an uneasiness to this room.
You don't like it.
I don't know.
It's pretty quiet in here.
Yeah, why don't you do some reaching out? I did it in the last room.
Okay, so I'm talking to Emily.
Oh,
or am
shit.
What?
That fucking light turned on.
Maybe I moved.
No, you didn't move your arm over there.
No, I didn't. Oh, things are going tits up, Ryan.
Shut up, Shane. Could you move your foot again? Move your foot out. Move it out like you did. Left one. This one right here.
It's not turning on, Ryan.
All right, I'm gonna go walk over to that one. Why did that turn on? And I just saw something right there.
Because you've tested these, and they have the cone of influence, if we can call it that.
It's very
pretty
tiny.
narrow.
Yeah. Let me walk over here. Yeah, I mean, look at that. I had
Yeah,
to
you
walk
got
right
pretty
here.
close there. We may have caught ourselves a ghoul, Ryan. Okay.
Just in case.
Yeah.
I want to leave zero doubt. This one is facing, the cone is actually smaller on this one.
Small cone. It's a small cone.
I'm rattled. I'm gonna compose myself.
All right. Gather your wits. Gather your wits. This is gonna be all over the news.
Here's the thing. It's because it's not a ghost story, they're doing the Macarena, we're not gonna have something compelling to skeptics. But it is weird that it turns on. You can see there's nothing there.
It is when I move, but I'll give it to you. That's a ghost.
I knew you were gonna say that too. We replicated the movement. We jumped up and down.
Yeah.
Doesn't turn on.
Great, you got a ghost.
Say at least odd. Give that at least an odd.
That's very odd.
With plague pits and ruthless executions, there's no telling what dark history sleeps within the confines of this maze. In an attempt to awaken this history, we're going to finish this off by individually walking and investigating the entirety of this zigzagging nightmare.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. I'm in. This is fucked up. This is so fucked. Okay, I'm already lost.
These, we've seen all these. I don't know if I'm supposed to stop and just take every room in, just really enjoy it. Ah! We didn't spend a lot of time with this guy earlier, but I love him. These are kind of the ghosts we should be talking to. Funny train conductors.
All right. I met an old man once. His name was Father Thomas, and he told me there's nothing to be afraid of.
I mean, I won't lie, I'm very scared, but
Do not be afraid.
if anything happens, just do not be afraid. That's all you have to keep repeating. He said it a bunch of times in the Bible.
Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid.
And we progress through here. Ryan is truly going to lose his mind in here.
Once again, I met a pastor. He's a Vatican certified exorcist. And he said, do not be afraid, because nothing can harm you, and I have nothing to fear. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. This is where I saw something earlier, but it's fine. My hands are shaking, and I feel like I'm about to have a nervous breakdown. Oh, okay. Do not be afraid, Ryan.
You know, there's a certain respect for the macabre in this country that you don't always see in other cultures.
Say it with me, Father Thomas. Come on. This is fucked up.
A lot of death in their history, and they've just got a fun way of dealing with it. I mean, look at this. Is this spectacular or what?
I can't hear you. Maybe I'll hear you later. Oh God, I heard something. Oh God, I heard something.
This is the Hall of Shadows, where you're supposed to see strange figures moving down there. I'm actually gonna walk through it in the dark. Or wait, no, maybe I'll strobe. Yeah, that's fun.
Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. There's a shadow man in here, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not gonna stay and find out because I'm not afraid. I am afraid, but I'm not gonna be afraid. I'm losing it.
Oh, ghosts? It's just me now. The one who doesn't believe in you.
It's just a maze with some mannequins. Yeah, it's a pretty fucked up situation. I know that.
It's a prime time to give me just a real good jump. Anything from you up there, sir? No.
Nothing's gonna happen to me. I'm not gonna die.
Now we're getting to the part that's a little more on the nose. We've got some hanging heads. Oh, me.
I'm here. Yeah, I'm scared of you. I'm not afraid to admit it. But you know what? I could be afraid, and it's fine.
Okay, here's a big spider.
What am I doing? I'm fucking backing out against my odds. I don't have anything to be afraid of. You know what? I don't have anything to be afraid of. You can't do anything to me.
What's supposed to be the reaction to this spider?
That's a big ass spider. Holy shit. Oh, come on. Clownland? You gotta be fucking shitting me. All right, I'm not gonna pretend that I'm not scared of this, because I am.
Oh, I hope there's no spooky clowns. Oh, it's a clown maze, folks. We got ourselves a clown maze.
Throwing clowns in here just makes no goddamn sense. You're already, spooky as it is.
Oh, this is good. This is good. Whoa, what the fuck? What is this thing? This is like a giant guar monster.
Do not be afraid. What was that? There was a creaky creak. Creaky creak creak.
Mondays, am I right?
Oh, look, it's the exit. Oh, if any of you fuckers try to sneak up on me, just know I'm gonna catch you on camera, and I'm gonna expose everybody to your little game. Ah! Oh, shit! Oh, God! Oh, God! Seriously, sir. Why? Why? God damn it. I almost fucking kicked you in the nutsack. All right. Fucking Christ on the crutch. Holy shit.
Yeah, I told him to check on you.
Yeah, I figured you'd. I think we both knew that that's what happened. Don't phrase it, I told him to go check on you. Just say it how it is.
I was concerned. I wanted him to go check on you.
No, you didn't.
I didn't know he was gonna scare you.
Yeah, you know what you did.
I do.
Oh, thank you, Jesus Christ. Thank you, God. Oh, shit.
How you doing?
I'm so happy.
You didn't throw up or anything though? You're
felt like I was
conscious,
gonna-
so that's good.
Father Thomas really helped me down there, I'm
That's
not gonna
good.
lie.
I found cookies.
The London tombs sit below one of London's greatest tourist attractions, burying the misery and tragedy of London's past, away from the hustle and bustle of the city above. Based on our experience tonight, it's apparent that the unfortunate history may still remain, alive and waiting. But whether or not the London tombs are definitively haunted will remain unsolved.
So we're on our way to Point Pleasant, West Virginia, home of the Mothman. I think you're gonna really like this town.
Fuck, I think we're in the moth nest.
If we're gonna find a Mothman, it's gonna be out here. This goes beyond belief.
Are you scared?
This week on BuzzFeed Unsolved, we travel to Point Pleasant, West Virginia, as we dip our toes back into the cryptid pool again to search for the famed creature, the Mothman.
Oh, very impressive.
Can you see that?
That's good.
You'll see firsthand when we travel to West Virginia, which we're gonna do soon after I.
What do you need these?
Well, these are my Mothman gloves. I use these to catch them. Look at the grip. I'm gonna grip them by the talons.
You need those to read the.
Yeah, let's get into it.
The Mothman is a cryptozoological creature that is thought to have made its first appearance in 1966. Witnesses have described the creature to be man-like in stature, often seen walking on its two hind legs. The Mothman is spotted primarily at night, and its color is tough to discern. Sometimes it's described as gray, other times as brown. However, the gigantic frame of the Mothman is largely undisputed. Across all accounts, the Mothman is a physically imposing specimen ranging from 6 to 8 feet tall. As its name would suggest, the Mothman is capable of flight, sporting 2 enormous wings with a monstrous 8 to 15 foot wingspan. One chilling detail that is reported in many sightings is the Mothman's unforgettable and haunting red eyes. A red described by one woman as, quote, red like you never saw red, end quote.
Moths aren't even scary. People say Mothman and I don't shiver.
I think he's called Mothman not because he looks like a giant moth. A giant moth would have like almost butterfly wings, right?
He doesn't have butterfly
He
wings?
looks kind of more like Batman's wings.
Well, then they shouldn't call him a Mothman.
We'll take it up with whoever made it up.
The Sky Beast.
Sky Beast. You just literally put together the two things that it's
Moon Monster.
pretty dumb.
The Cloud Fiend.
No. I see some, let's go through some other ones. What
You wanna see my
yeah,
other one?
what are the other ones you got?
The Evil Eagle. Dr. Sky Shadow. Mr. Windbiter.
Mr. Windbiter.
Hey, you know, he's flying through the air.
You said it out loud, you're still gonna stand by it?
Teeth gnashing. That's good.
What about like no, that's bad.
What do you got? No, say
that
your
was
bad
bad.
one.
I was gonna say Wingatron.
Wingatron.
Yeah, that sounds
like a robot,
Yeah, it sounds
Ryan.
like a robot, yeah.
It was in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, where the Mothman became famous, hence our presence in the town now. In fact, a statue of the famed creature sits in the center of town for those seeking a face-to-face encounter.
Stop number 1, Mothman statue.
It looks very ornate.
You'll be able to stare at it eye to eye.
What's that supposed to be?
It means you're 8 feet tall. It's a tall joke. Get it? Look at its eyes.
Yeah, they're a beautiful amber or something.
I was gonna say they're pure terror. I could feel it coursing through my veins. Oh my God, he's got a full 6-pack. Look at that. This guy definitely P90Xs.
He's like a George Clooney Batman.
Hopefully this isn't our only face-to-face encounter with the Mothman. Maybe we'll find one in the woods and he'll look nothing like this and we'll have to contact the board of West Virginia and say you need to change your statue because the boys have solved it.
Yeah, I certainly don't think he's gonna have G.I. Joe armor on.
You don't think he's gonna have
notice
the bat suit on with knee pads?
It's a little odd. See this guy's ass, by the way?
Oh my God.
The purpose of our pilgrimage to Point Pleasant is to catch a glimpse of the Mothman. But if that effort proves to be fruitless, we can still enjoy the influence of Mothmania that is ever present across town. For starters, there's an annual Mothman festival every September, and Mothman souvenirs sit stocked on shelves, ready for eager tourists year-round. At the Coffee Grinder, you can order various Mothman treats, including chocolate Mothman droppings, Mothman coffee, as well as a delightful Mothman cookie, complete with red eyes.
So this is the Coffee Grinder. This is one of the many locations around town where you could pick up some Mothman treats. You excited?
Yeah, they got a little Mothman lives here.
He does.
He's sort of like the funny little mascot of this
After you.
town. Thank you.
Good mascot. Oh man. This is nice and cozy.
And look at that.
Yeah, feels right.
Do you think he'll look this friendly when we see him?
Probably. I don't know if he'll be smiling like that. Like, yeah, that's better. Stop that.
What do you think his voice would sound like?
So, well,
It's me, the Mothman.
no, it's probably.
It's me.
There you go.
The Mothman.
Yeah.
You,
Mouse-like.
You boys from out of town?
Shall we eat some droppings? Okay, this feels weird. I don't know.
Feels right.
Sweet starter and a nutty and crunchy finish. So we have the adult here, and then the baby.
Yeah.
I'm greatly enjoying this moment. This is nice.
This is really something.
This is good. Now let me take a sip. This is good. Is this what those Work It boys feel like?
Not enough gold.
Finally, at Village Pizza, you can order the delectable namesake Mothman pizza.
Oh, you're going through that door? I was going to open the door. All right. What the? Jesus Christ.
This Mothman pizza honors pedestrian toppings with the responsibility of mimicking the look of the famed creature. The clever arrangement enlists blood red cherry tomatoes for eyes, bell peppers for feet, and spooky mushrooms for wings.
So this is very fun for them.
He is, without a doubt, a big part of their commerce in terms of tourism.
Huh.
If I'm going to Point Pleasant, West Virginia, I would go there for the Mothman.
Yeah.
And these people are on board.
I just like that the town can rally around it.
Some people have posited that the people of this town have made Mothman up as a beacon of tourism.
Oh, Ryan.
Which I
never.
don't
Impossible.
I don't buy for a second.
No?
Nah, I sniffed for bullshit. Foolproof. Passed the Bergara smell test.
I don't trust that test one bit.
I do. Because it's my test. You know?
Shut up.
All right, there it is.
Oh, thank you.
He's looking at me right now.
Yeah, those beady little eyes.
Those
They kind
beady
of look
little
like
eyes.
Look at me now, Shane. What do you think of me?
I like this guy. I like his vibe.
Oh, thanks.
We got the wings right here, the torso, this little bell pepper
Two
feet.
little legs.
That's amazing.
If I saw this in the woods, I wouldn't necessarily be all that scared.
Actually, the eyes would be pretty terrifying.
Yeah, those are actually pretty creepy.
I don't know. I like it. I dig it. I can't wait to eat his body.
I call one of the eyepieces.
There's only 2 of us here, so I'm gonna obviously get the other one.
Fine.
It's good.
While at Village Pizza, the manager sat with us to share a story of a Mothman sighting.
What's the scariest tale you've heard from someone in terms of sighting the Mothman?
Danny Scarberry's mother, she said that one night she had to fight him off because he come in to get Danny. She was like 6 months old, was in her bed, and she had to fight the Mothman off because he was trying to grab the baby.
He was trying to steal her baby?
Yeah, that was her story, but I mean, she was very convincing, and it's sad to say that she's dead and gone now, but that was a very scary.
She fought the Mothman.
Well, she didn't.
Oh my God.
She didn't actually fight.
Oh.
She didn't actually fight him, but I mean, she wrestled and got her baby from him.
Oh, yikes.
That's her story.
Well, that was educational.
It was good.
Got my souvenirs. It was good. It's time.
These 2 weirdly optimistic pilgrims are ready to embark on our menacing Mothman mission. Let's begin at the main sighting that started Mothmania as we know it.
All right, so this is the McClintock Wildlife Management Area. This is the area of the main sighting.
This looks like the kind of area you'd see a Mothman.
A Mothman, exactly,
Yeah.
right? Sparse.
Not a lot of people out here.
Yet there's parts that are densely wooded.
Yeah. It seems like a good road to be terrified on.
During World War II, 8,000 acres of a wooded area near Point Pleasant, West Virginia, were employed to manufacture and house explosives. The explosives were housed in concrete igloos dispersed across the land. After the war, the effort was abandoned, and the area was partially converted into a wildlife preserve that is now known today as the McClintock Wildlife Management Area. In the 80s, it was uncovered that byproducts of the explosives had critically contaminated the land. And yet, to this day, the igloos and some of their hazardous materials remain. Some speculate that this contamination mutated local birds into what would eventually become the Mothman. But that's purely speculation.
I don't think that's how that stuff works. I think usually if you come into contact with maybe something radioactive or something, you die.
Or you turn into the Mothman. I mean, what are the odds of it? They ain't zero. We'll park here and then we'll make our way out into the wildlife preserve. It's daytime right now, but
What are we doing?
nightfall's gonna come soon.
Yeah.
And you know I always come prepared.
Yeah.
I mean, there's hunters around here. I don't want to get shot.
No, I know. We don't want you to get shot.
So I'm breaking out Old Faithful.
No helmet this time?
No, I don't have any reports of Mothman hitting people over the head with rocks, so I don't think it's necessary this time around.
I guess, you know, in some sense, you may be making yourself a better target for Mothman to just
Maybe
fly out
I'll
of the
lure him
sky
out.
and grab you by his talons.
Maybe he'll be a lot like Bigfoot and be like, oh, what a colorful vest.
You think we should try and bro down with Mothman too?
Oh yeah, I didn't bring a beer for him. He doesn't strike me as a beer type. He strikes me more as a wine guy.
He struck me as like a field mice kind of guy.
Despite the dangerous material stored there in years past, in 1966, this area, often called the TNT area, was a popular destination for local youth. As such, on November 15th, 1966, Steve and Mary Mallett and Roger and Linda Scarberry were enjoying a leisurely drive through the TNT area. Unfortunately, their amusement would come to a screeching halt when the two women, Linda and Mary, spotted a figure near the TNT plant. The figure began to move towards the building's entrance in a shuffling manner, providing them a fine opportunity to observe the creature. While they initially thought it looked a lot like a man, it clearly did not have arms or a head. It had massive folded wings high on the back, and perhaps most noteworthy, two beaming red eyes.
So my guess is the couples were somewhere around here, maybe on that road over there.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure of the exact location, but this is where they saw him stumbling around.
They just saw him kind of shambling.
Yeah.
Big shambling man, kind of.
I don't know. Maybe he was just taking a walk. I mean, what's it to you?
Well, why would you take a walk if you
He's
had
a
wings?
fucking creature. He could do what he wants.
After being spellbound momentarily by the creature, the couples came to their senses and took off in their car, terrified.
Any thoughts on that so far?
Nope. What year is it? 66?
66.
Few teens out there probably smoking a few funny cigarettes.
You could say weed. It's 2018.
Some grass.
As they made their way towards Highway 62 in Roger Scarberry's 1957 Chevy, they saw the being appear in front of them and rise directly up into the sky. The creature had a gargantuan 10-foot wingspan, and the couples noted that it did not need to flap its wings as it chased the car at speeds of up to 100 miles per hour, quote, gliding above and behind the vehicle, end quote. The creature made a noise similar to a, quote, record played at a high speed, or squeak of a mouse, end quote.
Not exactly the most terrorizing sound. And this is why I think maybe these people aren't lying, because if they were lying, that seems like a weird detail to make up. You would say, it opened its mouth and the mountains moved with the force of the roar.
Yeah.
And they went, no, it squeaked like a little baby mouse. That's what happened. I was terrified.
It was easy to do the Bigfoot call at a very loud volume, but it's going to be hard out there to
Give me your best Mothman squeak. This is the noise you're gonna make to try and attract another moth person.
I'm going to try two different approaches to this.
Okay, I can't wait to hear
One's
both.
going to be an exhale, and then one's going to be an inhale. So my first one is. That's one. My other one is going to be a little more high-pitched because it's going to be the inhale.
The first one was all right, I'll give you that. The second one kind of sounded like you were smothering a dolphin. Also, your eyes kind of rolled back. It was just a weird performance all around.
It's a gift.
I guess I could try one.
Yeah, try an inhale. It sounded like a pig giving birth.
I thought mine was rather good. Sound off in the comments. Whose screech was
Chime off, let us know.
Fortunately, the creature stopped chasing the couples and disappeared as the couples neared the populated area of town. Linda Scarberry wanted to report it to the police, but they were concerned that they would not be taken seriously. As a result, in an audacious move, they decided to return to the place of the sighting to confirm what they had seen. To their affirmation/terror, they once again saw the creature, this time stumbling around in a dark pasture. This spurred the couples to head straight for the Mason County Courthouse to file a report.
First off, by the way, most of the time, people naturally will just run away and they'll tell the story. Very few times have I seen a case where the people will then return to the site and try and confirm that they weren't going crazy and that they actually saw what they saw, and that's what these 4 people did.
Yeah, it's very noble.
Yeah, and they did that, they saw it, they're like, okay, we confirmed, now let's go to the police.
Deputy Millard Halstead was on hand to take the report. Due to the size of the town, Deputy Halstead knew the couples and believed their claims to be sincere. The handwritten eyewitness police reports from the Mallets and the Scarberries is actually on display at the Mothman Museum. The couples claim that the police put all 4 of them in separate rooms and asked them each to write down what happened that night. All of the accounts match.
I mean, they're gonna, right?
No, okay, I'm gonna ask you to possibly incriminate yourself a little bit.
Yeah, that's fine.
Think of any time you've partaken in the smoking of the ganja.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs, first off. Whatever.
Legalize
I mean,
it.
now it's legal, so you can do whatever you want.
Get it out
In
there.
California, it is at least. Anyways, think of you are smoking it with 3 of your buddies.
Yeah.
And now imagine that you were so out of it that you imagined a giant moth creature.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, you go to the police, one of the worst things you could possibly do when you're high, and then you all tell the same details of a story. The only way I feel like you could tell something with concrete details that match everybody else's story is if it in fact happened, at least when you're under the influence.
That's true. Oh, okay, I'll give it to you. This is a point for Mothman. Understand, I want to believe in Mothman.
So is this the part where when I make a good argument, you're just gonna be like, well, I believed it anyway?
I said at the top of the show
Yeah, you
that
did
I
say that.
Yeah. Watch yourself.
You watch yourself.
You watch yourself.
Why don't you write down some more names?
The gliding
Just cut it off. You don't want that.
gliding is a little too pleasant.
Eventually, the couples and Deputy Millard Halstead made their way back to the sighting area where they heard strange noises, saw strange shadows, and an unexplained dust cloud. A hoof-like footprint was also found in the sand around the area. Linda Scarberry was treated for shock following the events and reportedly experienced some unnerving phone calls as well as visits by the Men in Black who would intimidate her.
I like those guys.
Yeah.
Our old pals.
Will Smith and Tommy Lee are back.
What are you doing
You
there?
hear that?
Yeah.
You made a cameo on this one.
Nothing to say about this one, huh?
It's weird. He only moves when he wants to.
The morning after the Mothman sighting, the Mason County Sheriff George Johnson held a press conference, and from there, the story started trending in local and national news. Eventually, the creature was dubbed Mothman by the press, inspired by the Batman series.
People actually thought he looked very much like Batman. I read a report where a guy said, there's Batman on my neighbor's roof. He flew up into the sky.
Do you have a utility belt?
I don't know if he had a utility belt, but I will say if I was a kid and I saw what I thought was Batman on my neighbor's roof, I wouldn't be scared. I would try and go get an autograph.
Yeah. You'd be like, Batman, you're my favorite superhero. And he'd go, never mind.
Looking out, this is actually pretty serene and beautiful in the daytime, but night falls almost upon us, and then that's when
That's when the boys come out.
that's when the Mothman will come out.
and then we'll have him. Sightings of the Mothman began to pile up. Police estimated that over 1,000 people were looking for the Mothman each night until midnight. And tonight, history, as it so often does, will repeat itself as we attempt to find the creature ourselves.
You genuinely believe that there's a Mothman out here?
I'm not so sure I'm sold on the Mothman, and here we are. But I will say, we're in the area where the main sighting happened, where a lot of the sightings happened. If we're gonna find a Mothman, it's gonna be out here.
After the Scarberry/Mallard sightings, a Point Pleasant woman named Marcella Bennett, her 3-year-old daughter, her brother Raymond, and her brother's wife encountered the Mothman while visiting family friends. Marcella
is actually pretty easy to set up as well. Start by setting up your enchantment setup and then build 2 blocks up and place the actual floor of whatever type of. Here we have an enchanting setup placed in the middle.
Welcome on back to once again another video. Ladies and gentlemen, piglets, let's get on this, which is gonna be kind of kind of sweet. Grabbing the these stairs and putting them kind of like grabbing these stairs. And so pretty much what I'm doing right now is kind of sweet. Alright, so pretty much what I'm doing right now is grabbing these stairs and putting them kind of like this on the top of the little post things that we've got here, which looks kind of cool, right? And there we go. So that is the nice little arches that we have here, which is pretty cool. And I thought that I liked the lighter fence, but I don't, because it is just I thought that I liked the lighter fence, but I don't.